Hi, my name is Owen. Welcome back to the Student Seat. My co-host today is Ella.
Hi, I'm Ella.
And today I'll be joined by our guests, Kim and Mel. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, yeah, of course. So, hi, my name is Kim. I work for the NHS Humber and North Yorkshire Integrated Care Board. I am the Training Accessibility Manager leading on a T-level project.
Hello, I'm Melanie Drayton and I'm the Project Officer at the HNY ICB and work in the Education and Training team.
For those of them, especially me, I don't know what an ICB is. Could somebody explain, please, what an ICB is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's take this one. So, as I mentioned, we work for the ICB, the Integrated Care Board. We're an NHS organisation. So just like any other company, really, like Amazon, Netflix, we are responsible for making sure that our NHS money is spent wisely, appropriately, effectively across the whole of Humber and North Yorkshire. So quite a big patch, really. We are accountable for making sure that money is spent to deliver real effective services for the 1.7 million people in our footprint. But we can't do that on our own as our organisation, so we join forces with lots of other different health and care organisations across that footprint. So that includes social care, primary care, so like your GP surgeries. We work with, obviously, education providers such as yourselves to make sure that those services are suitable, really, and that forms the Humber and North Yorkshire Health and Care Partnership. So that's what we do. And we do all sorts of different work, so from kind of cancer diagnostics, kind of mental health, primary care, children, young people's. Myself and Mel, we work in education and training, so, kind of making sure that we've got education out there for young people, really, to make sure we've got the people that are able to deliver the services that we need them to do.
So you both do different parts, don't you? So
Yes.
Kim, you do the T-levels, and Mel, you do the careers hub.
Yeah.
Would you both like to tell us like a little summary each of
Yeah,
what
of
they
course.
are?
Yep, of our roles. So as I said, I'm the Project Officer. Part of that role is the HNY ICB hub. It's basically our website, and I go out to careers fairs and basically sell everything in health and social care. There's around 300 plus jobs within health and social care. Wanted to highlight that it's just not sort of doctors and nurses. We do need lots and lots of different people to different lots of careers. Anything basically that's works in a hospital we need, so mechanics, people to work in the canteen. Yeah, so promoting the careers hub, we guide people to that to look at virtual work experience. They can get information on writing a CV. All sorts of good stuff on there. There's quizzes that students can do. So work experience. You can look for jobs on there. Loads of good stuff.
Yeah.
Fab. Yeah, and so I'm in the same team as Mel. So I work on a T-level project. So we had funding from the Department for Education to make sure that we are kind of promoting T-levels as a route into health and care. So for those that don't know, T-levels are a qualification option for when you've done your GCSEs. They're equivalent to A-levels. If you did 3 A-levels, that would be the same size as doing 1 T-level. They have been designed with employers to make sure that we are giving young people an opportunity and being work ready in a particular industry area. There's over 20 T-levels in total that are available at the moment. So everything from kind of health and science to education, plumbing, maintenance, electricity, electrical kind of engineering, all that side of things, digital IT, business admin. So for me, my work is really around kind of promoting T-levels to young people such as yourselves, but to also employers as well. There is a placement aspect as part of the T-level. So to make sure that young people are work ready when they've done a T-level, they do spend up to 315 hours actually with an employer doing a placement. So part of my role is getting out there and making employers aware as well and encouraging them to kind of get involved with T-levels too. Obviously, we do have huge workforce gaps in health and care, so we need to make sure we've got people that are wanting to do those jobs, so upskilling them, getting them ready to do those roles. That's really where me and Mel come in, is making sure we've got the right people with the right skills doing the right jobs at the right time.
Okay. So obviously you've got your A levels and your B techs, but what are the benefits of doing a T level compared to?
I think that the difference really is that it is much more focused on an industry area. So rather than going off and doing your traditional kind of English, maths, you might do, I don't know, drama, design, this is more around an industry area. So if you wanted, for example, you knew that you wanted to do something in health, rather than going off and doing A levels in like science, chemistry, those kind of things, this very much focuses on what the skills are needed for that particular industry area. So as a young person, you are getting all of that knowledge from your study at college, but you're also actually getting out on the floor and kind of seeing what's happening in real life situations. So in hospitals, in primary care, in social care, so we do have learners out there in kind of care homes, things like that. So I think it's a brilliant opportunity to practice the theory that you're learning at college and doing your placement, which kind of A levels just don't give you.
Okay.
I've gone through the website, your website, and
This is where you're going to catch me out now.
there is
The careers
quite,
hub, yeah.
we wasn't expecting very much. A few spelling mistakes. Now I'm joking. But there was quite a few courses on there. Can you talk about the placement that you're gonna, like some examples of the placement that you do on these courses?
Yeah, so on the website you can connect some work experience on there. So that's virtual work experience with a company called SpringPod. So we've partnered up with them and we are currently running a pharmacy qualification as well as an AHP qualification as well. I'm not sure if you've heard of an AHP or what that actually maybe means. And I've done a list so I can remember them all. So it's dietitians, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, radiographers, speech and language therapists and podiatrists. So we do have that virtual work experience running on there. It's just basically a link you click on. I'm going to guess it's about 7 hours in total. It's one of the offerings on there. There's obviously lots more.
Yeah, and kind of from a T-level perspective, the placement opportunities that we have across our system. So we've currently at the moment we've got students that are out in the likes of day surgery, out in maternity, midwifery services. We have them out on community as well, so like rehabilitation services. I was visiting earlier last year, now that we're in January, I must remember. We were visiting a learner who is actually doing engineering T-level, and she was with the Estates and Facilities team at the local hospital here at Grimsby. So yeah, loads of different opportunities, like I say, respiratory, out on the wards, in people directorates as well, so doing like HR, finance, training education, all of those kind of different departments that you probably wouldn't even realise we do have within health and care. So it's a huge vast of kind of placements that are happening at the moment. So, yeah.
I at the careers fairs that I go to all over Humber and North Yorkshire, I do use the pathways quite a lot at the fairs to let students go on the laptop and they can go through all the career paths. And that's quite rewarding for me because you can see, they're interested and they can see, for example, if you want to be a midwife, they can go on there to see what qualifications they might need and then what they need to do to go further down the line of their career. So it gives them lots and lots of information.
What advice would you give to like the students who are wanting to do the T levels? Because obviously, it's quite scary. Trying to apply for one of them courses.
Absolutely. I think that's that's really key, Ella, to remember is that, at 16, we're asking these young people to make a decision about what you want to do for the rest of your life. So I think for me that, the T level is an option that kind of opens up those opportunities. Like a T level in health, for example, you might know that you want to, go into the healthcare sector, but not really know what to do. So doing that T level will give you that kind of enrichment really to understand the different departments maybe in a hospital setting, or maybe understand how care links to the hospitals, what primary care looks like. So yeah, I think for me, my biggest advice would be to be very open, in doing that T-level, be really curious as to what's out there, what opportunities are available for you, and just really grasp it and enjoy. So yeah, just get out there, experience it, have a go. And the one thing I will say is to be mindful as well that in health and care, it's not just doctors and nurses. Like Mel said, we have allied health professionals, so our AHPs, who bring a huge amount of skills to the work as well. So there's over 300 jobs in the NHS, isn't there, Mel? And I think...
And some.
And some, yeah, exactly. And, the likes of our roles as well that people probably don't even know exist. So be very open.
Did you do a work experience, Kim?
I did. I did do some work experience. Yeah, but this was long before I joined the NHS. And I just think through the teaching that I was doing, my work experience was very much around classroom teaching. And it made so much sense to what I'd been studying in the classroom. It gave me purpose, I must admit.
So moving on to schools and colleges, they can go to the Careers Hub website, can't they, to educate their students into going further in this. But how else can local schools and colleges get involved to encourage young people to consider a healthcare career?
Yeah, so like you just sort of said, they can go onto the HNY ICB Hub website, which I'm going to carry on plugging throughout this interview. And show the students all the good stuff there. But also we run an ambassadors programme. So we have what we call ambassadors that work in health and care roles all across the Humber and North Yorkshire, who volunteer their time and attend careers fairs to talk to the students. So quite a lot of the schools already around Humber North Yorkshire do put on careers fairs, and the likes of myself and my colleagues will attend the careers fairs and sell the NHS. We go out and do things like mock interviews with the schools as well. So they'll arrange days where sort of we'll go in and we'll sit with the students and do sort of a mock-up of an interview, so they know, what to maybe expect. And I think, you looked a little bit frightened then when I said that.
I was wondering, do you ever do assemblies, like in front of all the children? Like,
we do,
and the students, do you ever just...
Yeah, schools do ask for people to go and do the assemblies. But a lot of our partnerships as well, they also go into to schools and do all their own little workshops. For example, DN College recently set up an area in their college, and it was basically there was a lady on the floor. It was a dummy lady, not a real lady.
A dummy lady, one of them ones.
Mannequin, Mel.
Fake lady. Yeah, that's the word. And so we sort of set her up that she was laid on the floor. Obviously something had gone wrong, and the students went in as sort of paramedics, and they followed that patient's journey basically from picking that lady up off the floor, if they could, to going to A&E, to getting in a hospital bed, having all the observations done and bloods done, and that's something we're sort of replicating around Humber and North Yorkshire now.
And it's not just the work that we do either. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we form part of the Humber and North Yorkshire Health and Care Partnership, so we work with loads of other organisations as well. And I know obviously that the careers bus is something that is upcoming as well, isn't it? So, which is, remind me, East Riding
It is East Riding Council
are doing it, aren't they, in partnership with a few others. So it's not just the work that we do that we get involved in. We kind of get involved in loads of other stuff as well.
We'll be touring around that bus this year. I think so far we've got sort of 6 stops.
Wow.
And on the bus we have virtual reality, so you can put VR on and you can be a paramedic. Again, it sort of puts you in that position of being in the patient's room in a home and getting them in the ambulance, and again taking through the pathway. We have VR. We take the website. Not sure if I've told you the website's handle, have I?
Say it now, and we'll put it on screen, and we'll put a QR code on there.
HNY ICB Careers Hub.
Okay, thank you. I was going to say, is the bus moving whilst you're in VR? Like whilst you're in virtual reality?
No, we are stationary.
So you stop. So you drive and then stop, and then...
Yeah, well, we go to a school sort of every, for the day, for the morning, or round Humber, North Yorkshire.
So, what set you on this path, and what made you want to work in this career?
Am I going first?
Go on, Mel.
Please.
So I I'd spoken to quite a few friends and people that I used to work with, and they always they left where I was working and gone to the NHS. And when I bumped into them again, they were so happy, saying they loved the jobs. It was such a good thing to do, very rewarding. So it was something I think that I wanted to get into for quite a long time. So my job as a project officer sort of matches my career to date, really. So I started off in recruitment, and then I worked in the music industry, doing events. And then, where did I go there, Kim? Gets a bit hazy. Steel, industrial. So I worked in steel, and I worked in the ports as well. And that was as an executive assistant. So I actually left my role as the executive assistant and COVID struck. But I got a phone call one day from an agent, and they said, we've got this job as a PA at one of the ICBs in North Lincolnshire. Would you be interested? So I was like, this could be my opportunity to get in. So I sort of grabbed it with two hands, and I was a PA for about a year. Contract ended, and then I wanted to stay in so much I applied for 7 jobs all at once. And I pretty much got an interview for everything, but this is the job that I really wanted, because I thought I was quite confident that I could do it because of my background, but also it's just rewarding to highlight to the to the children, the young people, the older people, what's out there, educating them, what they need to do to get to maybe where they want to be. I found that really fulfilling, that you can maybe have an impression on somebody by just having a sort of a chat to them. And
I think similar really. So I joined the NHS later in life, so I actually trained as a primary school teacher to begin with, because I knew I loved education, inspiring young people, and seeing that kind of light bulb moment with the teaching that I was doing. But when the time was right and I knew I wanted to take a bit of a career step, for me the NHS was just a no-brainer. We are the 5th biggest employer in the world. So for me, I knew that it was a way for me to give back to the community that I'd grown up in. So I am, kind of local to this area. So it was important to be able to, give back, help, inspire others, and make sure those opportunities that maybe, that we didn't really have are out there and people know about them.
And I think one of the reasons for me to go as well was that it's, no one says it's a job for life anymore, but I don't think that's necessarily true, because, if you go into the NHS, you can move around, do lots and lots of different roles, training, they're very helpful in putting you onto training courses, but you do also get that freedom and flexibility to actually learn on the job as well.
Yeah.
You've got that time to think, I've got to do this, I don't know how to do it, and then, you do feel like you're comfortable to have that time to, work it out yourself and get on with it, really.
I think the important thing to note as well is that, in health and care, it's not just about being on a ward with patients. There are so many other roles that are out there as well, like for us that work in, kind of education and training, things that people probably don't even realise. So, yeah.
How has the T-levels and the Career Hub helped to improve the NHS?
Okay. So I think with educating, like we've sort of just said, being out there, telling the students what we've got available for them, educating them. I'm just going to say actually that we often ask students or people what they like to do, what's their hobbies. Maybe people at college study music, or they love art. There's a job for those skills in health and social care as well. All sorts of different therapists are required in art and in music. But I was going to say, sort of, any interest you have, I'm pretty sure we can find you a job.
It'll be in healthcare.
Yes, but I think it's just it's spreading the word. Basically, and that's how we are. We're building the future generation of health workers.
Right.
Yeah, and I think from a T-level perspective, it's about ensuring that, we are training our young learners from an early age, and making sure that there are opportunities out there from day one, really. It's not a big secret, that health and care are under huge workforce pressures. We've got massive staffing gaps. We just don't have the people out there doing the jobs that we need them to do. So if we can, kind of inspire younger people to want to do those jobs earlier on, we're then, kind of tackling that challenge earlier on. And a T-level is one way of doing that, providing those skills and that experience so that when they're coming out at the age of 18, they're already work ready to be out in health and care, rather than trying to, approach that at much later in life.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we could talk about this all day, but that's all we have time for at the minute. Thank you, Kim and Mel, for joining us today, and thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. It's great.